Okay, here we go. I'm going to demonstrate some things here. First, I want to show you, I guess, where you would download Java Development Kit. Go to Google. We'll enter Java Development Kit. And we see we've got an Oracle site, Java SE Development Kit 8 download. I already have it downloaded, but I'm going to show you where to download it. So we'll go here to Downloads. And let's see, you'll have to accept the license agreement here. We have downloads over here for Linux, Mac OS, Solaris, and Windows. There's two for Windows, 164-bit there. 189, 195 megabyte downloads. Linux ones are much smaller. Well, some of the Linux ones. See, there's the tar GZs there compressed. One of the, well, no, it's a Mac OS, the biggest. Anyway, that's where you would go to download it and run through its installation. I'm not going to do that right now. Just going to close this. I'm going to go to my desktop here, change directory. I have a directory called DEV for development, and then Java. And under that, I have some folders here. Let's see, we've got JDK, which is where I installed the development kit. I've got Ant, some Arksoft folders there, some other testing type folders. Eclipse, H2 is the new hypersonic SQL database, Java-based database. There's HSQL also. It's the older version, I think. Install is where I put some basic installation files for all this other stuff once I've installed it. JEdit. I do have an SVN repo on the hard drive, so I can stick things in a repository if I want. Some SSL stuff. Testing 3JS. I was messing around with that a little bit. Tomcat old workspaces for Eclipse. But anyway, I just want to show you the JDK right now. So we'll go there. Here we have a binary folder. That is where all your command line tools are going to be stored. I'll show you that in a second. DB, I'm not sure. Include, not sure. JRE, change that. There's another binary folder. This is the runtime environment. It has some similar stuff in it, I think, to the other one. There's lib, Java libraries. Over here's also another lib folder for the development kit libraries. You have license, readme, release, and here's source.zip. It's a source for the entire Java API. If you so want to unzip that and look at it. Go to the binary. Here we have lots of tools in here. A bunch of them I've never even messed with. The ones that start with J are the ones I've messed with a lot. Let's see. Applet Viewer for testing applets, so that you don't have to test them on a web page. A lot of times they may run an applet viewer and not run on the web page. Let's see. jar.exe, very important. Make your jar files. Jar format is zip format. It's the same format. You could unzip jars with zip, a zip tool. You can unzip .zips with the jar tool. I'm not going to talk about jar signer right now. Or am I there? Java exe, the most important thing there. That allows you to execute or run your Java applications. That is the JVM, Java Virtual Machine. Java C.exe is your Java compiler. Java doc.exe creates Java documents, which are all HTML web pages, based on the commenting within your source code and based on the source code. Something to do with Java FX. Let's see, I think Java P might be the decompiler. Forgot what Java H was. Java WXC, that's for running on Windows system, your Java application in the background. And then if you want to close it, you're going to end up having to go to your task manager, find it in the task list, and shut it down. Java WSCXC. Web Start, that's probably for testing Web Start apps. JConsole, not sure what that is. JCommand, not sure what that is. JDB, not sure. So I got some more learning to do myself, apparently. JMC, not sure. JMAP, not sure. So they've added a bunch of new tools since I've really looked at this last. Anyway, the key tool will be necessary if you're dealing with some forms of encryption. Just keep that in mind. Policy tool has got to do with security policies for servlets and you know, lots of things. So, well, applets and Web Start probably a lot of things. I don't know why they have an unpack tool in here, but they do. Anyway, this is the very important folder. This folder needs to be included on the path, the system path. And I did a partial screenshot tutorial there in the one of the articles there, I think on consoles or desktop applications, to show you how to set the system path, but I'm fixing to show you anyway again here. So let's go to Start. Now you're only going to see a piece of this here. I brought the Start menu. Go over to Control Panel. And I'm going to scroll down here to System. Click that. That brings up your System dialog. Go to Advanced Settings. Go down to Environment Variables. And down in here in the bottom System Variables, you'll see Path. Path. Got that. Right here on the end, you'll see Development Java JDK 8 bin. That's telling the system when you enter the Java exe command or Java W or whatever, it doesn't have to search an entire hard drive to find it. It will find it when it looks in that folder right there. Now this is very important because the same concept you will use with the class path. Let's see if I have a class path set here already. I do not. So I'll set one here just to show you how. New. It doesn't have to be in caps. I'm not sure that it matters. Anyway, usually on Windows system it doesn't. Let's see. Now I included semicolon, dot, semicolon. Dot is the current folder. If you don't have that set, when you try to run a class you compiled in the current folder, in a default package, it will not find it. So if you don't set it here, you'd have to set it manually at the console itself. Sorry, put that in the wrong place. Now this setting like this could end up being a problem if there's multiple versions of the same thing and with whatever you're working with under the Java folder. So keep that in mind. You may have to set this a little more specifically to whatever it is you're working on at the time. Oh, let's go look at that one more time. See where it's there. There it is, class path set right there. Okay. Now let's back up again. Now we see, because I could have showed you, took the JDK out, showed you how, it would have went wrong if the path wasn't set right. But if you type Java, you will get an error, say it's not found, or you'll get this if it's set up properly. And it could be set up for the JRE and not the JDK bin folder. So you might want to check that out. Make sure it's set up for your JDK bin folder, the development kits bin folder, not the JRE's bin folder. Because Java's installed on a lot of systems, and it sets it up default to the JRE. So here, there's Java XE, and then you got Java C. You see, when you just type the name, it gives you a list of options. And this looks pretty complicated. A few of these are extremely important, and you'll get to know them pretty quick. Here's one where you can set the class path specifically, and it will override, I guess, the one we set in the environment variable right here at the command line as you execute the command. Let's see. So we will work a simple example here in a minute. Okay, I want to bring up here Notepad. Make a simple Java program here. Public class. My first start out by making a class definition. Every file is going to be Java file is going to be a set of class definition, and typically the rule is you don't put more than one in a single Java file because it can become difficult to find the class definitions if you put a whole bunch of class definitions in a single Java file. So I should say the convention standard is just put one class definition in one .java file. Now, there are inner classes, and that's a different situation. I'm talking about if I went down here and put another public class, something else. You do that. It's legal, but not recommended. There are other situations where you might, public class, inner class. But at the same time, inner classes are also supposed to be limited to only specific situations where it's related specifically to this class in this situation, and really it's not going to need to be used anywhere else. As a rule of thumb, you generally don't use inner classes except for anonymous inner classes, and I can get to that later. But anyway, that's a different situation altogether. So the first thing I do is make instead of this time, instead of doing the normal system.out.println hello world, I will do something different. I will print let's see, how should I do that? Should I do a loop? Let's do it like this. For I believe that's a variable, not a method, but we'll find out here in a minute. We'll do it this way, colon plus, we'll do it this way, plus I plus, oh, I missed a plus there, colon plus I. Okay, what this is going to do at the command line when you enter Java my first to execute this, you can also enter arguments behind that and separated by white space. It will split that string of arguments based on the white space into this array of args. And this is going to output the entire array of args, whatever you use. And it's going to tell the number for the argument and what it was. So let's try. It looks correct. Hopefully I didn't make any typos or errors there. Let's save it. I'm going to save it as there. Okay, we're in the Java folder. That's fine. You got to save it. When you save it at the same name for the file as the class. So it's going to be my first Java. Okay, that's good. Save it. Now we'll go here to the command line. Java C is the compiler. My first Java. I had one error. Let's see here. Variable I might not have been initialized. Oh yeah, I meant to say I equals 0. Of course I did. Okay, now file, save it again. Notice that I did not put a package statement up in here. This means that this class is in the default package, which is the current folder, whichever folder the class file happens to reside in. So there we go. Hit compile fine. So then we run it. Java my first hello world. There, printed argument. One's hello, argument, or zero's hello, because computers count from 0. Argument 1 is world, exclamation point. And there is the first, most basic example of a Java program. Now the next, you will use, actually, I said in the first podcast, I think, that you do not use console applications much. Programmers use console stuff constantly to test out a language feature or something simple. But for practical applications, you won't be using the console much. Also, the console is used for debug output quite a bit. So, that is, oh yeah, anyway, for output. So let's try, I guess I could do this from scratch, or I could go get some code. Hold a second. My first GUI. We're going to leave the main method for now. Let's see. Remember, a lot of your supporting classes that you'll make to go along with your app won't have a main method, but sometimes they do. I put main methods sometimes in classes that I'm testing, just to fire that one class up and test something. That's called bootstrap testing. Okay, so what we're going to need to do here, we could extend JFrame. And we will have to create a constructor, another concept. first GUI. It's called a constructor method. I want to pause this for a second. Hold on. Okay, so the first thing to do here, we could do this dot set size. Oh, let's make it 400. Call it 400. Then we need to make something to put in it. Let's see, J label, A label equals new J label. Let's see, we'll put in here hello world. Then we'll do let's see, we will get the content pane. Add a label. Center. Okay. Okay, then we're going to do this dot set pack. We'll use a pack. Set true. I'm not going to add a closing operation to this. Okay, take this out, I guess. I will just say my first GUI. I always spelled something up there. GUI equals new my first GUI. Now, before we can do anything else, I'm going to have to go up here and do an import. Import is not like C includes at all. Import javix.swing.asterisk. I think that's all I need to import, but there might be one or two others. We'll find out in a second. Imports help the compiler find the class names in the API that's already on the class path. And so, well, no, that's not exactly the truth. It's so that you don't have to use the fully qualified name. For instead of JFrame here, if you didn't use the import, you would have to say javix.swing.jframe. I believe swing is capitalized, right? Okay, we'll find out. Okay, so this saves some typing, these imports. Let's give this a try, see if it will compile. Oh wait, I saved it under the wrong name. Matter of fact, I overwrote the other one, which is bad because we lost that code. Save this as my first GUI. It's got to be the same name as the class. Yeah, that looks good. So we'll go down here. Job C, my first GUI.java. Oops, man, I made a bunch of mistakes. Apparently I'm not as good as I thought. Let's see. Yeah, I know that looks bad. Usually one mistake causes one error causes others. Let's see. I don't know why I thought that should be capitalized. Better. Okay, we'll just recompile it after. See, the reason I give those errors is because I get the import right. So I hit my up arrow to use my history there. There. Well, still got a couple errors. A label. Can't find symbol A label. Okay, look at the code here. A label, that's spelled right. A label, J label, A label. Oh, transposition. Okay. There's A label, border layout. Okay. That might be an odd thing. I'd have to port. Save. Okay, let's do it again now. Home command. What did I mistype there? That right. Okay, let's go back up here for a second and see what I did wrong. I used my history there, up arrow to the wrong line. Java see my first and not my first GUI. Okay, so let's do this one more time. Up history, up history. Let's see. Well, it's one way back there. Forget it. I'll just retype it. Oh wait, there it is right there. Okay. There, it compiled. Okay, so now all we got to do is Java, my first GUI. Now when you run a GUI app with the Java command, it will hang the console, and even when you close the app, unless you put the closing code in there, which I did not, it won't take you right back to the console. It'll still be hung in the console, and you'll have to hit Control-C, I think, to actually exit the app. Let's see. So anyway, we'll just run this here. First one, yep, is that right? All right, there it is, up here. Here it is, hello world. And even though I set its size at 400 by 400, the pack command shrunk it back down to fit. And there's the hello world. If you want to, you can stretch the thing out. There's your frame. You know, you can change this icon on the left. You can get your minimize, maximize buttons, your close button. You can also put a title up here in the title bar, which I don't have. And you can throw every component in the docs in here if you want to, in the documentation. Let's see. So we will close. Click, and you see it's still hung down here. So hit Control-C, and it exits. And that is your first introduction to creating a Java graphical user interface application. This could be done a couple of different ways. I didn't have to put this code in the constructor. I could put it all in the main method, and the code would be slightly different. A constructor is called a constructor method. Methods are what do the work in the classes. You have methods, which are the logic, program logic, and you have data. Data are called fields. Methods are what in other languages have been called subroutines, procedures, functions. That's what a method is. And a constructor method is a method that is called when you create the class the first time. You can have constructor methods with arguments, variables, and parentheses as well. But anyway, other methods that you create will be called after you've created the class. That's your introduction right there to Java programming. Maybe that'll help to get you started if you're brand new. So, happy programming.